What's up, people? Hope you all had a good day. Check in. Let's do our diary room politics. Yesterday, we spoke about the Solidarity March situation. We dealt with that. We spoke about Nira, former sweetheart from Studio 263, who's completely gone cuckoo, and she's now on the other side. I think we spoke about the South African dancer. Spoke about that. What else to speak about? Yeah, so we spoke about the events that were taking place yesterday. Oh yeah, and then we finally spoke about Tobiwa Mudede and what he was doing with the voter registration process. Today, however, I want to talk about something I hear a lot of people referring to, but I don't think there's enough academia or enough... I don't think the matter has been given its warranted degree of attention. Now, as many of you know, in fact, as some still judge me, I spent some time in ZANU-PF, and when I was in ZANU-PF, I didn't realize people don't understand how those people you see walking on the streets saying "Pamberina," my loony type of behavior. People don't understand how you got there. I used to be there, and all of a sudden I feel this really deep pain when I watch it, because I'm like, Jesus, if this is how I made people feel, then I must really suck. Like, damn, I must really suck if that's how I made people feel. So I guess I'm sorry. But let's talk about the important matter. So let's see who's tuned in. Let's see who's watching. We are going to touch on voter rigging. I'm going to tell you why today is one of the best days in Zimbabwe, but why that is also, why the oxymoron is it's also one of the worst days for the future. I'm going to talk about that too. So let's see who's tuned in. Terry Lorraine Yash is tuned in. Archibald is tuned in. BK, my big brother, salute, you tuned in. Amy says Ndawuya. I want to know if you guys have got my vocals right. So can you hear me? I know yesterday we had a little bit of problems with my voice. With my mic. So can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know that you hear me loud and clear. Also, let me know that you can see me so that we know that the camera is good. Oh, Kuda says my nigga. Adamo says I'm in. Mom, hey, Mom Mickey, what's up? I see you had a wedding in Harare. You didn't invite me. I wish you invited me. I'd have come through. Nice to see you anyway. Tell me, I want to know about the sound. Is it good? Selassie said loud and clear. Terry says, yes, we can hear you clearly. What else we got? Kuda says loud and clear. Okay, if Kuda gives it a green light, I guess we're good to go. All right, so let me tell you what happened today. If any of you, those of you who are employed in Zimbabwe, or anyone who, I don't know, maybe you read the newspaper today, you would have not missed the closing of the financial index for the third quarter of the year. Now, I know it might all sound, a bit complicated, but let me simplify what's happening with the finances of the country to you. So, the banking situation currently is, there is $5 billion. That is your money and my money, generally people's money. So, this $5 billion vanished, went missing, because somehow people were taking money, taking it out of the country. Mainly the government was kind of playing with this money. So, when this $5 billion went missing, government needed to solve this problem. So the way they solved the problem is they said, we're going to print 200 million bond notes. Now, these bond notes are going to play the function of the 5 billion. Do you remember when the Reserve Bank governor came out and said, we're only going to print 200 million bond notes. We're not going to print any more money. This is it. We're printing 200 million. That's it. He even went on to say, if I print any more money, I am going to resign, because it will not be economically wise to do so. The fiscal disadvantages of that are uncontrollable because we simply don't have the fiscal discipline. Now, fast forward that to beginning of this month. The Reserve Bank governor then announced and says, actually, I am going to print 300 million more bond notes. So we have 300 million more bond notes coming into the market. Again, here's the problem. You take the 300 and the 200, it gives you 500. But you have a problem of 5 billion. So the hole is too deep and they're trying to patch it up. Now, let's go back to where I started. The papers told us today that the stock market, this is the best day for the stock market since we dollarized. Essentially what that means is from January to August this year, the stock market has gone up 67%. The trouble with this mathematics is the economy hasn't even grown by 1%. What it essentially means is we're entering what's known as a hyperinflation phase. This is the beginning of the worst time in Zimbabwe. You think 2008 was bad? 2008 is nothing compared to what we're about to experience. Let me break it down some more so you understand what it is we are about to experience. Have you noticed $1, $1 rakunetsa kuwana, even rare rato rapera $1 rapera unge hondo rukunetsa kuwana $1. You can't find it on the streets no more. Have you also realized that the bond note, even that's difficult to access now? So essentially what government is trying to push and force feed us is do electronic transactions. Now, what it means to say the stock market has grown by 67%, today being the highest day, means all the big companies, people who understand money, people who know how money moves, and people who were there in 2008 February when we woke up, so 2009 February, when we woke up and there was nothing in the accounts, what they understand is we are going back there. So all the big pension funds, your NASAs, everybody today moved all of their money out of the bank and they put it into the stock market. The idea being you have to buy something that is tangible. Because if the money is in your bank account, you are the biggest loser if the money is in your bank account. Because you will wake up and the money is gone. This day is coming. It's inevitable. There is nothing that is going to happen to stop it. Money is going to disappear out of people's accounts. That's why the people with the big money have all moved their money out, put it in the stock market, so that at least you have value, because stock never goes wrong. You can never go wrong with value in stock. Now let's talk about the other currencies. Right now people don't want to accept rands. But the reality is rands is a currency. So if you have rands, actually hold them. They're not valuable now, but they're going to become valuable when there is no more money. The bond note, even that's valuable. The loser, the biggest loser is the person who has money in their bank account. Because when it's time for the magic trick to happen, it's going to be bada boom, bada bang. Your money is gone. So, expect it. It's coming. I am not telling you something that I am imagining. I am telling you something that is founded on basic economic principles. That's how hyperinflation works. When prices start going up very quickly. This is why when you go on the street and you have US dollars, you can sell US dollars at an astronomical fee compared to, if someone wants that US dollars in hard currency and they'll send you the money as a bank transfer, because money that you have in your account is worthless. That's why people will say, if you give me that money, I will sell you this money at 30% extra, so you give me that worthless money. Absolutely, absolutely worthless. That's what's happening. That's what happened in the stock market today. Okay? So, I now want to move you into how this adds to rigging elections. What happens when you're rigging elections is, the process of rigging elections, it's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. It's like trying to do a magic trick. So the process of doing a magic trick, for anybody who's ever studied optical illusions, it's a game of illusions. Magic doesn't really, there's no real thing as magic. It's kind of all an illusion. And this, my friends, is how the illusion works. First, you must distract the audience when you're about to do a magic trick. Distract the audience. Now, there is 3 fundamental tricks that ZANU-PF is going to use to distract you. Trick number 1. If you've ever watched the movie Gladiator, you would have seen that the Colosseum was used as the place where gladiators would go to fight so that the king would distract his people from the wars that were taking place in the country. Build them a Colosseum. So what ZANU-PF has done is build you a Colosseum. The Zodwa Ubantu and N-era situation was not an accident. Harisi Zungu. It's a calculated step to distract you, because right on the same day this is taking place, ZEC is announcing how the registration for elections is going to work. Deliberately. It is not an accident. Tobayo Modede comes out and tells the country that, let me just throw a spanner in the works. You can't vote with your plastic, with your metal ID. You need your plastic ID. You know why he says this? Because if you've gone to any township, or if you've gone to any high density area or any massively populated constituency, you'll find my youth are kustika. Now, you take that young person who is highly compromised, you get him drunk on Simbodia, which what Shamu Webster Shamu is now in the business of pretty much distributing to everybody. So Simbodia is now hitting the streets more than it's ever hit. Get them drunk, get them drunk, get them drunk. If you saw on the videos from Bus Stop TV yesterday, a lot of drunk young people, a lot of drunk women, a lot of drunk men saying a lot of drunk things. They don't know what they're doing. So drug the youth. You think Mugabe is going to win by the old people? No, Mugabe is going to win because of the youth. The reason for all the youth interface rallies is get the youth, they're easier to deal with. Get them drunk, get them drunk, get them drunk. When they are high on that drunkenness, you now use that to send them to the ballot box for them to vote. Because anoswera akakastika muqueue kuvota. By the time anozopinda achivota, musoro make maprogram or one thing through my rallies kuti enda X pamashingo. This is the pathway, the road yekuenda kunovota. Meanwhile, we are all being distracted because we're being given these side shows. Now, ZANU-PF knows it has failed. They are very clear. These are not stupid men particularly. Eh? These are men who've been running the country at your expense for a while. So they kind of know what they're doing. So what do you do when you know that you've got less than 12 months to go, less than, I think about 6 months to go, and you need people to believe that things are working? You begin to throw billion-dollar transactions. So you then say, we're building $1 billion university. The Chinese have come, we're putting $1 billion into Cisco Steel. We're going to put $1 billion into the Byte Bridge project. Remember, the Chinese money doesn't come from Chinese banks really. Most of it is tied up in British bonds. So this money has to go through to the British banking system, and worst of all, if they're using the US dollar, it has to go through the Federal Reserve Bank of America. So there is no one who is stupid enough to put $1 billion in a country when it's got 6 months to go to an election. Nobody who has money is that crazy. So essentially what's going to happen is we're going to be told, oh, this billion, very soon we're going to be told there's going to be $1 billion farming, $1 billion youth projects, $1 billion women projects. I mean, they announced just yesterday on the news that there's going to be $1 billion bank for women. There's going to be $1 billion bank for young people called Empower Bank. All these $1 billion projects are coming to now distract you. Then, so that you, I mean, in the event that you can't actually touch the money, they tell you it's coming, and they tell you, but trofana utiyambuke pa my elections for you to realize it. These billions are not coming. They're not coming. Of course they're not coming. Can you imagine that there is a national leader of any country? Do you think the Chinese leader right now is happy to do business with a 93-year-old president for a deal like Cisco Steel that is going to need 16 years for it to come into action? Do you really believe the Chinese are that stupid? Think about that. Think about it. The Chinese. The Chinese. Maglam Glaudy of the world, the Chinese, you think they're really going to give us $1 billion and do a deal with the man who is not allowed to drive a car? Do a deal with the man who's not allowed to even sign for a bank account? Do a deal with the man who's not even allowed to open a medical aid insurance policy? If Mugabe went today to open a medical aid insurance policy, he would be told you are high-risk business. If he even went to Nyaradzo kunovura funeral policy, he would be told you are high-risk business. And you think the Chinese are going to give him $1 billion? Come on, guys. Come on. We are on a pathway to the worst. So what happens, why I say this will be the worst winter we've ever experienced, is as we move into the winter season, you can't grow food in winter. So we're going to run out of food. When we run out of food, we're going to start this game of importing food. Food is going to be priced in all sorts of prices. And then you know what? Money changes are going to go more into business, and we're going to get more into trouble. And as we get into trouble, it's going to be impossible. Now, when we go to elections, what happens to the general public when you go into an election and things are bad? You're going to get angry. When you get angry, you're going to go and vote. And you're going to say, I want to vote Mugabe out. When you vote Mugabe out and Mugabe wins, then Mugabe has been legitimized and you've actually legitimized his presidency. So I'm thinking out here that what happens if we actually don't vote? What happens if we actually don't register? What happens if we give ZANU-PF the one thing they are very afraid of? Illegitimacy. Because I think they were going to rig. And because Zek is running the show right now. We don't know what Zek is up to. We don't know who's proof testing this BVR process. We don't know who checks the votes that are going in, the votes that are coming out, the votes that are in already. So if you don't have a way of proof checking them or proof testing them, how the hell do you know that they're giving you the right result? Can you really imagine Rita Makarao coming out on TV and saying, and the winner of the elections is Lumumba, Lumumba, Lumumba? Really? So, this is what I think we ought to do. Follow my thinking for a minute. Follow my thinking for a minute. This is what I think we have got to do. Number one, absolutely, let's register to vote. Number two, absolutely, let's focus on getting class of 2018 into office. Because I don't think ZANU-PF will be able to protect its MPs and its councillors. Number three, when it gets to the presidency, president. Because obviously the opposition is a waste of time. You know this. I mean, you can't convince me that Changirai can be a good president for this country. I'm sorry. I know I get into a lot of trouble for it, but I am sorry. I cannot buy the notion that Changirai knows what to do with my future. He's got a little baby on the way right now. I think he needs to focus on that baby's future. So what we do on the presidency is we can wait it out. And let's see what the options are. Let's not be in a hurry to say who the next president is, because we don't even know who all the candidates are. We don't even have an election date. But let's at least protect, but it's not going to protect my MPs, my councillors. Shout out to all the young people who are running for class of 2018. ZANU-PF can't be given legitimacy in the next election. The only way they get given that legitimacy is if we actually participate in the presidential vote and they win it. I don't think we're going to get it by... Anyway, I also want to hear what you guys are thinking, okay? Let me not ramble on. So, tell me what you guys are thinking. Leanne says, let me get this right. Let's get more MP seats and not focus on the next president. You know what, Leanne? Because can you even imagine who we can put in as president? I can't imagine who to put in as president. Who? None of us are really... In fact, most of the people on this platform right now who are watching this video are not even eligible to run for president. So I think all the arsenal of state is going to be focused on getting Robert Mugabe back in. We need to focus on getting all the other guys out. You know, it's one step forward, two steps forward. One step forward, two steps forward. We need to focus as per what is directly around us. You protect the vote from where you stay. You don't protect the vote from the presidency. Just my thinking. But again, this is my personal diary for today. Let's talk about it. We've got a few more minutes before we wrap it up. So, what do you guys think? I think you're just confused, Mimi. My logic is not really confusing. I think you're just confused. Because which part is confusing? Hey, Carol, what's up? Ephesians say, teacher, what's up, my brother? Salute. Fagio, what's up, my brother? Salute. MPs from which party? MPs from which party? Look, it's going to be different constituency by constituency. Each constituency will determine who its candidates are. The point is, the actual point is, when it comes time to select, know who you're selecting. Lumumba, some of the things you actually say make sense only if someone else better positioned was saying this. I don't know. Look, my diary, I'm saying what I think. Rumbi says, hearts, 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 hearts. Thank you, Rumbi. Innocent said, Acie, it's not about the people, but the policies they represent. See, Innocent belongs to that class of people that says, no, it's about policies, it's about policies. When you see zvigure zvezANU-PF zvinenge zvichifamba murodhi zviya zvichitaura kuti isusu AfriForum ndeyekwagutu tikutaura kuti AfriForum kaguruke mayouth kada kunetsa. When you see those people, do you think they care about policies? We have to be crazier than they are. We are going to have to be more loony than they are. Literally, our marbles are going to have to fall apart. And we're going to have to say, kana tasvika pavari, kana takudzira kind idzi. Tofana kutopenga kupfura ivo. We have to be more outrageous. Like, we have to be more crazy. We're not angry enough here. And this is the problem. We're not getting angry. We're getting thoughtful. We're not getting angry. We're getting smart. But sometimes, game regular smart, uchidzilane zvigure zvakarwa nesimbo, nesimbodya munhu akuti musoro make kapaungochitaura ari kutoseka kuti uri frustrated. Utomuzori mugaba anoenda kutokuseka kuti unopengere wewe. Unzori ungade kuendesa shumba iya here wewe. Munhu anogeza nemafuta egarwe. Come on. So, the rigging is going to take place. It's already started taking place now. But the way we mitigate against this rigging is we have to be preparing our own plan B. So I'm asking my brothers, my sisters, all of you, plan B, number 1, register to vote. Number 2, make sure there's some, if you can run to vote, if you can run for a seat, put your hand up to run for a seat. Number 3, be prepared to be crazier than they are. If you leave out of Zimbabwe, stop talking about coming to Zimbabwe right now, guys. It's not a good idea. The economy is falling apart. If you're in Zimbabwe and you can get out, actually get out. Because the economy is looking a mess. This is going to be worse than 2008. Remember, I told you this. You can't, ZANU-PF is not even fighting against the opposition. ZANU-PF is fighting against the economy. The reason they'll call an early election is because the economy will put them in such a tight corner by the time we get into the new year that they have got to call an election before it falls apart. So that they can get some legitimacy to go and look for some more money. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Anyway, guys, so how was your day? Tell me how your day was. Let me see. Let me look at some comments here. Because I said Lumumba, yeah, make sure you get my name right. Who we got? I'm reading comments now. So if you want me to address something, holla at me. The elections are rigged already. Gaga. Oh, yeah, the elections are rigged. Manuel says, stop focusing on taking the fight to ZANU-PF. Focus on creating platforms and programs that will speak louder than ZANU-PF. I agree with you, Manuel, but that means we also have to be on a freak mobilization program. We have to be way more aggressive than they are, because right now they are beating us on the aggressive game. So we've got to take the aggression to them. Talking to Soro, thank you, Lucky. I appreciate that. Nicola, see what you're doing out there. Well done, girl. Leroy says, way forward is to register to vote, then register. Then by registration, we change the situation. I'm glad we're starting to talk about this. Look, guys, I think we're really saying one and the same thing. Oh, say hi to Christian, everybody. Say hi to the people, man.
Hello.
Yeah, that's my son. He's getting acquainted with the economics of the world. Rumbi says, stressful. I went to the hospital in Joburg and not been helped. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's my diary for today. Where we are headed is worse than 2008. Prepare yourselves, brace yourselves. It's going to be an ugly road, and brace yourselves. Catch you again tomorrow, I guess, right? Panache says, if we remain silent, we'll be guilty of complicity. That's why we can't remain silent. Ephesians says 4 million strong. We are more than they are. These people are too few. They're just organized. We're fighting against a few organized people when we are a lot of disorganized people. So we have got to get organized, because when we get organized, we deal with the disorganization. Mudiwa Stephanie Mahere is in the building. Hello, Mudiwa. Stephanie Mahere. You and me owe each other a get-together, so got to make that happen. Yeah, guys. Otherwise, come to my inbox. Stay in the comment section. Let's keep talking about this. Another day is done. The worst day has begun. So from here on, it's only bad. It is only bad. Stock market, 67% growth in 8 months. When the economy has not grown 1%, all the big companies have removed their money out of the banks to put them into the stock market to buy shares. Why do you think that is? Smart people know that the money is no good. Do not keep the money in the bank, because money in the bank is no good. Anyway, I'm not trying to get in no trouble with the Reserve Bank and Mangujiga. I'm just trying to say it exactly as it is. So, be good. If you can be good, be safe. If you can't be safe, then be good at it. Say goodnight to the people, Chrissy.
Bye.
Say goodnight.
Good night.
Yeah. Peace, people.